What's up, glorious, glorified community? Welcome back to another webinar this week, again, about growing your business with powerful marketing design. And that's what Glorify is all about. Of course, it's helping you get kickstarted as a solo entrepreneur, as a marketer, as a designer, even to get started, either starting from scratch or with templates and just getting the basic theory set so that you can launch powerful campaigns, whether you're marketing a physical product, digital product, or service-based product. I'm really excited about today because, been kind of experimenting in Glorify, trying to figure out, some great processes that you guys can adopt inside Glorify. And of course, this webinar, we've got a very specific agenda today as well. Those of you guys who are who have been on the free trial plan, we've been running Glorify with a free trial, 14-day free trial plan for over 9 months, of course. Parallel to that, we've been driving a lifetime deal, as you guys may know. Now, the free trial has now been converted into a free forever plan. We briefly had a free forever plan back in the day, but we're going back into, since our $2 million investment raise, led by Fuel Ventures, we've really excited to take Glorify to the next level. And part of that growth is about giving you guys and giving the world, in fact, access to a free forever plan. Of course, there's going to be limitations in that plan. It doesn't have all the features, but it's perfect for you to try to get started. Now, we've been emailing you guys, a lot of people who are on the free plan, who have been signed up to the free trial in the past. And now this is the opportunity to jump back on Glorify and, of course, come on this webinar and get excited about, some of the great stuff that you can do on here. Now, on top of all of this, we're going to be talking about the roadmap that's up to come. And those who actually missed out, you guys who are in the free plan, you never heard about our lifetime deal that was going on. We're going to be talking about a little bit about that. And, we're going to give you, we spoke about giving you guys an exclusive extension for those people who are on the free plan specifically, right? And there's been high demand on that. But apart from that, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys are saying today. Give us a shout where you coming from, where are you hailing from? What business are you running? What's your business model? What kind of hats do you wear in the online digital marketing space? I'd love to hear a little bit about you guys. So I can say Siddharth over here, Ray, thanks for all the love, guys. Hey, Andrew. Hey, what's up, guys? All right. So as you guys trickle in, I'd love to see more of your comments to start flooding into the comment section. Just introduce yourself. Tell us where you're coming from, where you're from. Let us know a little bit about yourself, your business, and anything else you can tell us. Right. So let's go straight into it. Okay, let me just have a look what's going on here. Cool. All right. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, first things first, can you guys hear and see me clearly? I want to establish that first. If you can, then just give me a thumbs up. Andrew Blevin says he's coming from San Luis. That's awesome. So Canada, CA, I would assume that's Canada. Just sounds very Hispanic, that name. I didn't think there would be a San Luis in Canada. Cool. All right. People can hear me clearly, of course, if you're replying to what I'm saying. Right. So let me hit the share screen button. All righty. Hey, Siddharth. Yeah, of course. I hope you're comfortable where you are in your home in India. So let's jump straight into it, guys. So grow your business with powerful marketing design. Now, first things first, I want to go through a quick agenda. What we're going to be talking about today. So we're just going to run through a summary of what has been happening in the last 6 months in Glorify. We did this last week in our webinar, just so you guys are up to date. We'll then jump into Glorify and show you a quick session. We will talk about our future roadmap. What's the timeline looking like there? Talk about our free forever plan that you guys can jump into if you haven't bought Glorify yet. And of course, the lifetime deal ending. We actually officially ended it last Friday, but just for the free users who never got the chance to know about our lifetime deal, we are, giving you exclusive access and extension till the 1st of September. So let's talk about the summary. So just 3 months ago or 2 months ago, in fact, we closed our $2 million seed round. And this was very important to us because, we were fundraising for over 9 months, myself and my partner, and we were looking for a VC that was going to be a great match. We did actually turn down a lot of offers that weren't the right culture fit for us. And that's part of the process, right? And we finally found a venture capital partner that is just a perfect match, and they were more than excited to jump into our vision. They had pure vision alignments, and they are a great VC because they actually help a lot of tech startups in the UK that are hitting they're very ambitious and trying to hit into the Series A, Series B level, and eventually become a unicorn, right? So they are very driven to help startups become a unicorn. I'm really excited about having them on our side. We're going to talk about that very soon in the future. We're going to do some press release, so you'll come across that. As of yet, 121,000 members have signed up into Glorify, including you guys. So thanks a lot for jumping into Glorify and making it your go-to design tool. Two things that are really important. We recently launched a Mockups feature. Hands up and let me hear what you guys think of the Mockups feature. If you have used it already, if you haven't used it, don't worry, we're going to show you what it's all about and how you can use it today in this webinar. We've had 1.8 million designs downloaded by you guys in the last not in the last month. I do apologize, that needs to be reworded. It has to over in total, and this number was recorded in the last month, as 1.8 million designs in total have been downloaded, and that number was recorded last month. A couple of cool things that we've seen in template statistics: 49,000 people have downloaded templates of Glorify in the last month. 11,000 templates downloaded alone last week. Some of the cool templates that you guys might have come across, these infographic style ones. We've got agency-based ones, physical products. Infographic is a new category that we recently launched. Go check it out, guys. I think if any of you guys want to do some powerful content marketing, you need to check out the infographics. It's a category that was high demand. Any early adopter that requests any high demand type of template category, then our design team is on it. This is a high demand category by our early adopters, so we decided to fill up that category. It never existed before, and we decided to just take a jump on it. And so that category is filling out. I hope I can show you that later. But without further ado, let's jump into Glorify. I want to do a couple of things today in Glorify. Just those of you guys who have never actually used Glorify, you guys from the free users base, you might have come in and perhaps not had the time to kind of explore enough, and this is your opportunity to just see what Glorify is all about, right? So let me show you around. So once you onboard into Glorify, the cool thing about Glorify is that the first thing you come across is your dashboard, and this is a place to kickstart all of your work. And what's really awesome is that we personalize the experience to your needs. So on your onboarding, we ask you questions like, what kind of business model do you run? What's your niche? What platforms matter to you the most? And with all those questions answered, we can cater the experience perfect for you, so you can see the perfect sizes that matter most to your business, the platforms that matter most to your business, prioritized right here, right? And furthermore, you can find all of the categories that you need, and again, prioritize right here, right? So I was talking about infographics earlier. I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you what the infographic side looks like at the moment. So let's go over here and go into infographics. So these are infographic templates, right? Pretty dope, right? I have to say the design team have gone above and beyond to create some powerful templates over here. So if you haven't explored it already, do so. It's looking really, really powerful. Next up, I want to show you our other template category that we recently filled out. Recently, we launched a feature, Mockups, which is a high demand feature, which essentially what it does is allows you to drop designs into a physical or 3D object, right? And this ranges from apparel to packaging to devices, and the list goes on. And you can just literally drop in your design and then hit done, and you've got this physical mock-up, and that's hyper realistic, right? And you get them in all kinds of angles. We've got templates for you. You've got all the different use cases. So do check that out, because this is super, super exciting. People have been loving it. And great, guess what? For you guys as early adopters, you get to have priority in suggesting models to us and suggesting scenes. We've got a bunch of roadmap within Mockups itself, some of the types of models that we want to launch in the next couple of months. But yeah, it's really cool to get started here. You just pick any model that you like and you can customize it. What I want to do is I want to start with the template from the hero images category. So I'm going to go into hero images. Is a great place to start any template design. It's, the first kind of, square image that you can see in a product listing, in a website. It can be used for your blog post. It can be used for your social media carousel. So it's got very multi-purpose, multifaceted. Now, when you're in the template selection area, what's really cool is that, you can go ahead and instantly filter out to your perfect niche. So let's say you're in the sports and outdoor niche, then you can see everything according to only sports and outdoor. Similarly, if you want a specific style and your brand's got a particular style, then you can go ahead and do that too. So you can go ahead and pick, for example, matte color if you like, right? And here are all the matte color type templates, right? So you can see it's got this flat color style. If you want to try something else, perhaps like something that is more futuristic, you can go ahead and try that. And you got all these kind of futuristic, ahead of time type templates, right? So let's jump into one of these templates. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close all these categories. I'm going to scroll down and find a template. I was looking at a template earlier today, and I actually want to use this for my demo today. Now, once you pick a template, what's really cool as well is everything is recreated inside Glorify into a bundle. So, we take most of our templates and recreate it into bundles. So you got all the different types of sizes and use cases and channels that you want to market with in the same style. And this is not just the resize, this is purpose driven. So, if for example, you've got an ebook and the ebook comes with this table of contents in the same style and the same brand theme, content pages, front cover, back cover, call to action page, the list goes on, everything for your social media posts. And we try to, make it easy as possible to you by actually filling out, a strong use case in the template with copy and stuff like that. So you can get started really, really fast. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pick the hero image in this instance. All right, so customization is really simple, guys. I've got a particular template idea that I have in mind today. So I was thinking of creating something in the print and demand space. Now, you can see this template. By the way, what's really cool in Glorify recently, I know we've been focusing a lot on physical products, but very recently we've been topping up on other categories, and we're going to start to see a whole experience. And I'm going to talk about this in the roadmap after my demo, but we're going to start filling out categories like digital products, service-based and stuff like that. Because right now, primarily a lot of the templates are based physical product-based, but you can start to see we're filling out digital products too. So let's go ahead and type out, for example, launch your own print. Print on demand is pretty popular. And I know a lot of users on Glorify love using Glorify for print on demand stuff, especially since we launched our mockups feature, business in, let's say, 3 days, right? So launch your mockup, your print on demand business in 3 days. Throw that text over there. We'll just keep those points standard. Don't need a call to action. We'll just do a download call to action, especially we'll just do something like that. And let's say it's like a carousel ad, right? So swipe to learn more. Scale it down. Okay, we're going to need a little bit of an arrow. So you got a bunch of icons here in the icon section. So let's type arrow and pick something out here. And boom. Perfect. So I want to align this with, use your smart alignment, or just simply select and align. In fact, what I want to do is scale this lower, a bit lower. And I want to, there we go, group these two together. Perfect. All right, so perfectly aligned, good to go, and easy to read. That's the main thing. Okay, cool. So the next thing I want to do is switch out this person here. So make something a bit more, someone that looks like a tech entrepreneur or something like that. So something I recommend, guys, is going into our photo creator library. It's integration with Icons 8. So they have this particular photo creator. Really awesome to use, by the way. They've got all these models, objects, backgrounds, all cropped and ready for you to use. So I want to type in rock on. So like we had the girl in this template earlier, looks kind of very rock on-ish. So I want to find something a bit similar. There we go. So a bunch here. Some of these look pretty funny and cool. We'll go with this one. The guy doing a bit of a punch. looks exciting. If you're selling a course or some kind of program on print on demand, then you'd want to showcase the user experience, right? Someone getting pumped about selling his own business. Now we got this really cool shape at the background. Of course, it doesn't fit this guy. So how are we going to do that? Now that's really cool because with Glorify, we try to make things balanced for not just for you guys as non-designers, but like designers as well. So you can use the pen tool. It's a basic polygon tool. We're still working on this. It's in beta. Like it's just a kind of basic tool that you can use to kind of draw. Boom. There we go. And we'll throw that in the back. So right click, send to back. And of course, I want to get rid of the border. So we got a kind of similar effect, this kind of sharp, loose border that we saw in the previous model, right? And what I'll do is I'll group this guy. Actually, what I'll do is just make him pop out a little bit more is we'll do a drop shadow, blur it out. And we'll horizontal it over around here and drop the opacity a lot. We don't need it to be so powerful and so strong. It just looks over the top if it's too strong. There we go. I'm going to right click and group these two. Now we've got this as a group. Cool. Now, of course, we need this little icons to work in our favor. So I'm going to send this to back so I can click on these icons. But these icons are relevant. I want to make it more print on demand related. So I'll click the icon. It's cool with Glorify. If you have an icon, you can instantly replace by hitting right on the right hand side and replace. We'll do like a mug. It's popular for print on demand. And then I'll drop a t-shirt shirt. Excuse me. So let's pick something a bit simple like that. And let's pick t-shirt mug $sign. So, something like, that makes them pumped about making loads of money. So that's what print on demand is. But actually, I want to try using this one. This looks a bit fun. Although I wonder if it's got a hole in the middle. I hope it does. I hope it's transparent. So there we go. Scale it down a little bit, match the sizes a bit more. There we go. That looks pretty cool. And then finally, last but not least, last but not least, let's put that over around here. Break into the shape. That's fine. Doesn't have to be outside. We'll do so we got a mug, a hat maybe, or cap actually I should be looking for, but let's see if I can find something. I want something a bit basic. Yeah, something like that looks good. Perfect. All right, so there are my icons. We're good to go. That looks very print on demand-ish. This call to action or title can be much bigger. And in fact, what I'll do is, align it there. And I want to move these ones a bit higher. So there's a bit of balance, right? And what I could do as well is select all that. Select, shift select basically. There we go. That should do the trick. I'm going to save it in case. Actually, I want to show you guys a trick in a moment, but I hope it works. So I'm first going to save my print on demand, save my file. Let's try something, guys. I want to see if I can switch to another editor. By the way, this is a little hack. I do warn you if you do this because we're going to release the full version soon, but it's a quick hack to get to our new editor that we're working on that's got some major improvements. So I'm going to quickly switch to that editor. So you just hit 2 on the URL for edit and it should work. Perfect. It all works. So I'm going to start working on the new editor. Why am I using the new editor? So the cool thing about the new editor is that it's got, these cool features like, you can zoom in, zoom out like almost infinite, higher zoom, and you can also edit outside the canvas, which is a massive demand. So I'm going to start editing with this, but it has some issues. That's why it's not released yet publicly. Okay, so here's my first image. Needs some color, of course. Like I'm not like fully on board with the color yet. So let's figure this out. Let me just before that, I want to see how everyone's doing. Cool. Everyone's, yep, cool. I just wanted to see what's going on Facebook. All right, guys. So yeah, drop in some of your comments. You know, how many of you guys have used print who have started to print on demand business, just to stay on topic? I'd love to know. Now, okay, let's keep moving. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on my smart guide so I can start align things a bit properly. And in Branded, there's you can add your brand, of course, and you can recolor your entire image with your brand, which is pretty awesome. So just like that, you can get this brand feel, and you can go ahead and add your logo, for instance. But I think I want to try something a bit different. I don't want to necessarily, so I'll use my logo like that. So Tech Bros, cool. Okay, looks awesome. Although I want to see if I can use a different color palette, something from our colors library. So let's go and pick something from tech, perhaps. I've got a bunch of tech color palettes over here. Massive resource for you guys, of course. And let me pick something like, this is not looking popping enough. Maybe around this region is what yeah, there we go. Nice and poppy. Poppy is what I wanted to say. So the logo, of course, can't be seen. So I'll add an overlay color to make it on brand or on theme with this template. Perfect. So I'm happy with this first image. So the whole point and purpose when you use a template, and this is what I want to show you guys, is that stick to the style of the template. I've said this before, and this is really important, is that the whole purpose of templates is to stick to the style. Now, if you're a pro designer, then no doubt you'll start from scratch. But if you're starting from templates, you can truly make a template your own by simply sticking to its style. And it's as simple as that. I'm going to make some of the text, like this text, a bit, stand out a bit more by giving a brand color. Okay, so that text, I think on the new editor, because I'm an editor, the new editor, I can't actually color individual text. So that's okay. You can do that in the current editor that you guys have access to. We're still working on editor 2, of course. Now let's keep moving. So from here, I'm going to duplicate this page. So that's what's the process when you create images, whether it's like a carousel or a set of ads, is, if it's part of the same campaign, like just stick to the same assets, and your workflow will be highly optimized. So if I create this first image, and let's say I'm designing for a carousel, then I'll just simply duplicate this and keep moving. Of course, that's the logical thing to do. But what I mean to say here as well is that, as you design a carousel, let's say for LinkedIn, for your ads, or for Instagram, or even your Facebook, like a carousel ad or a post, you can repurpose that for your website. It's not hard to download these images, maybe remove the swipe to learn more, and simply download it and add it as your header image, and simply add the title text in part of your website responsive header. But you can just simply, of course, download this image alone, for instance, right? And then upload that to your website and just keep the same flow, because communication is, when it comes to promoting a product, it will always mirror in a lot of places. It always gets repurposed. So whether it's on a carousel, starting with your hero image, which is this one, and then the rest of images that we're going to design in a moment, you'll then go ahead and add those images in the same flow on your website. So let's finish off the rest of the designs. I'm hitting at 7:25. I want to keep going at this speed. So next up, I want to create a different title now. Let's talk about, let's say this is a carousel. We're talking about a print on demand service or course or whatever it might be. So create your very own style of products. I'm going to say create your very own style of products, right? And I'm going to delete this person. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some mockups. So you guys get to see how mockups get used, which is awesome. So mockups, of course, you got all these 3D objects. I'll go ahead and, for print on demand, something that's typically used is t-shirt. So I'll add a t-shirt and create a nice little arrangement over here. In fact, I can get rid of these points because we already explained them on the first image. So I'll drop those in. I'll hit that and send that to back. Not sure if I'm going to use these icons just yet. We'll see. I'm going to put them over there for now. We might delete them in a moment. Let's see. So here's a t-shirt. I'll add a hat as well, I think. Yeah, why not? In fact, something like that. In fact, let me, instead of using this baseball hat, I want to go for this kind of cooler hat over here. Flat top. I think that's what you call it, flat top. Cool. So that's that. We'll add one more merch over here in the bottom corner, like can you a pen, or let's add a book, for example. Why not? So, you know, people selling merch, of course, can be a list of things, right? So you want to promote a bunch of things, increase the t-shirt size. Yeah, there we go. So here's my mockups ready to go. So how do you customize mockups, guys? It's a super simple process. You literally click the mockup, go to the edit panel. You can see all the different thumbnails, parts of the mockup that you can customize. In this instance, I want to customize the crown. I'm going to delete the logo and pick a cool icon. Maybe, in fact, actually, rather than going there, I'll go into icons 8. It's a place to be. Pick something that looks pretty funky, like a, I don't know, eagle. Some of these look pretty awesome. Yeah, why not? Purple eagle, why not? That's unusual, it's unique. So the part of the mockup you want to do is around here, and you get a preview over here. So there you go. You can see the preview almost instant, right? And so you can just move it around and see how it looks until you're satisfied. So I'm pretty happy with that. In fact, I want to grab the color from this. This is a pretty cool color. And I'm going to hit done. And what I want to do is maybe add the, you know, give the, can't remember what you call it, the brim, that's what it is, the same color. Why not? Okay, so I think it's in a gray color. So there we go. Let me hit enter. Perfect. So I've given the brim a purple color, and there you go. That's done. Same thing for the t-shirt. Maybe the inner portion of the t-shirt, we'll just give it a similar purple. Boom, hit enter, and we'll add the eagle in the, of course, in the print area. Delete our logo. Move this a bit higher, and then let's preview the mockup. There we go. So I think this could be bigger. There we go. Hit done. Pretty cool. And finally, we'll just do this one as well. Same thing here. I'll just drop this color in here and delete that. Go to the icon. Let's see if I can tweak the eagle this time so that maybe it stands out a bit more in the background of. So go ahead. All these SVGs can be customized, as you can see. So what I want to do is make maybe make it white like that. We're good to go. See what that looks like. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that, right? So I think these icons still play a game. Like we can just add that right there as a little design aspect. Why not? Just like kind of in the point or corner of this t-shirt. So it kind of fills that area a bit more, right? So we can pull that a little bit higher. Now I feel like we can break this up a little bit more, right? We had this in the old image, we had this kind of custom shape, and we can do a similar thing to house this area. So let's go and use our pen tool and draw something a bit pointy and strange. So it's a bit dark. We're gonna, of course, work on improving this so that you get a bit more of a visible line. And yeah, I think that improvement will be coming soon. Of course, this tool is still in beta. There we go. Some wacky, interesting shape. We'll try maybe red because the objects are, of course, the objects itself are also white. So I don't want to, you know, pull away from the contrast there. So yeah, that looks kind of cool. Like, you know, just breaks up the image a bit more. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thoughts, of course, because you guys should be the judges, really, right? Because I am biased after all. the artist can be biased. So yeah, cool. Let me move this around here. Now I'm trying to use these shapes as a way to kind of balance the image. There you go. So that's done. So just following the same style, we'll go ahead, duplicate it again. This time I want to create a mock-up of, we're talking about print on demand. So let's create an online store mock-up. So funny enough, I was actually planning this demo earlier, and I knew I was going to need an online store. So I found this image. Cool thing about Glorify, you can simply, this is Dribble, by the way. I have to give a shout out to Sajjad Mohammed Nia for uploading this design on Dribble. I don't know who he is, but he needs credit because I'm going to use his design, right? So we'll copy his image. And this time I want to use a mobile phone. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my mockups, switch into these, maybe one of these digital screens. Yeah, one of these flat ones look perfect. Don't want to do another isometric style one this time. So simple like that. And we'll go ahead and edit inside the screen, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can delete the logo, and I'm going to add, like I said, you simply drop the design into your canvas and you're good to go, right? And that's awesome because you can literally copy from browser and paste into your canvas. Now I want to use the remove background tool in this instance. If you guys don't know, we have a background removal tool. I should have told you much earlier because this one is a breakthrough feature that people love, but really useful for cropping people out, from cropping anything out, and just cropping anything you want, to be honest. In this case, this app, I want to crop this app. I'm going to make this crop a bit more accurate. So I click the crop button I just want this single screen, to be honest. I don't need anything else. Boom. And I also want to show you guys something else about Glorify. Something that I don't show enough actually in my demos. So let's go ahead and try doing that. But first, okay, so this one, of course, is too big. An easy way to just simply do this is right click and add it as a background. And then that just adds it perfectly in the center as a background layer. And you can control the repositioning of it right here, but it's pretty much done for you from there. So boom, just like that, we got a mock-up, right? Seamless, right? Now, like I said earlier, I do want to try something, which is create a bit of a call out, right? Glorify is super useful for e-commerce and pretty much anything that you want to call out. And what is a call out image? Is just simply showing off your feature in focus, right? So let's say I wanted to show off, let's bring this mobile a bit higher up. Let's say I want to show off like some features of the online store. Let's say this is a print on demand service that actually helps you even list your product listing with a custom widget right on your store. So I hope that makes sense. But I want to try to compose like a call out here that shows off this feature. So what you can do is add a circle. And what I want to do is like add a kind of zoom in magnification. So, users or people can get value from this. So I've added that into my shape by clicking on this section here. And as you can see, it's been added. Now I can go ahead and reposition this, scale it up, and let's go ahead and maybe show off like the pricing widget, right? And we'll scale it a bit higher just to exclusively show off this pricing widget part. Nice. Okay, so maybe now what we could do is pretty much show off this feature that, let's say, okay, so let me try and articulate this as best I can. I'm going to duplicate this text, customize pricing, colors, design, and more, right? Something like that. Now, I don't feel the contrast on this. Still could use these icons here, actually. I'm going to stick to these icons still. Why not? Now, I don't feel the contrast on this element. So I'm going to add a drop shadow. Of course, that's way too strong. So we're going to have to tone it down a little bit. Drop the opacity. Blur is good. Make it a bit tighter. And horizontal, there we go. There we go, a bit darker, a bit blurrier, and a bit vertical. Yeah, a bit horizontal. There we go. So something like that. Now you got that contrast. And now I want to use a call out line. So lines are great for call outs, right? You can add a single line with no pointer. And of course, you got all the different pointers here that you can choose, but simply hold shift, by the way, to hit all the straight angles, like every, I think, 25 degrees. But I want to go horizontal, and we'll show off this feature. Use your alignment, smart alignment. Actually, let's do vertical. And you know what? Let's do this. Let me go and align the text to right. Push that over. I might delete the icons, but I'll come back to that in a moment. Duplicate this line and align that about the same point as there. And we'll kind of show off this feature. There we go. I'm just going to move the line a bit to the right so that it kind of matches. There we go. That's perfect. And why not add like I might even add like a pointer style. So you can choose to add your pointer heads over here. So pointer head added at the starter point or the end point. As you can see, it's been added. So, and what I want to do is also perhaps recolor these into red. And yeah, this needs to be recolored. The pointer has a separate coloring, so you can really have freedom how you want to design. But yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty cool. This needs to go to the front, so send to front. So we got this kind of cool call out style. I think the icons are overkill right now. Now that I see it, it's a little bit. I mean, what could have been done is maybe like I could customize the icons to match the feature that I'm talking about, like pricing, color, design, and more. But to be honest, I want to get on with this tutorial, right? So let's keep moving. But you guys get the gist, right? I think it looks kind of cool, actually. Now that I think, finding it hard to, as you can see, I'm hard finding it hard to make up my mind. But that is part of the design process as well. So let's move this a bit lower. Cool. So that's really cool about Glorify. And by the way, I know I created this call out myself, but you guys can create call outs too. If you want help, there's templates, there's call out templates. So go to browse templates, and listed somewhere around here is call out templates. So you'd have to scroll down. There you go, call out templates. So you actually have templates, as you can see, with the pointers, pointers to products, as you can see this one over here, right? So super, super useful, right, for you to get kickstarted. Okay, so we're going to keep moving. I want to change this shape because we already used this shape in the previous design. I want to show off something else. Instead of drawing a shape, let's go into our shapes library and pick something cool. So we'll go ahead and go to shapes library. And from here, we'll go into patterns perhaps and pick something that looks a bit funky. That one looks pretty dope. Try something a bit circular, maybe. Why not? Get into this. I do feel these colors are kind of retro-ish. Kind of reminds me of Back to the Future kind of style or theme. So I'm going to try that. And of course, the color needs to have more contrast. So I'm going to go with the red. There we go. Niceness. So shapes, by the way, guys, for those of you guys who are not used to design or how to use shapes, shapes are great at breaking the composition, as you can see over here, right? So I've broken the composition quite strongly now, as you can see, and this shape has really helped me do that by kind of, so it's kind of, given the objects and the point of focus, a platform to rest on, it gives a lot of attention here. That doesn't take away too much from the title, which is great, and that's how we want it. We don't want to reduce the title away from us. But yeah, I mean, this title anyway has to change. We need to create, like, make a killer store with your own brand. Something like that would be cool. And I mean, you can even lift this up here to match around there, or maybe centered. Yeah, something around there looks great. And this can go around here. Yeah. So there we go. Cool. All right. So I'm going to stop playing around with this design. We have to move on, of course. 41. So we're almost coming to the end of the show, guys. So let's keep moving, and we'll go to my last image. I mean, I've done 3 here. I could end it now, but I thought, why not end it with like a bang, you know, add a call to action. So last image, we'll just do something really simple, delete everything. Don't need anything, just the title. Swipe more is not needed anymore because it's the last image. So we'll just get them to get them to decide about something that they have to do. So ready to blow the world away with your magic or designs, let's say. Yeah, designs. And then call to action button. Guys, use the button tool over here. So if you go over here and go to buttons, it's an awesome resource. It's, we're going to create templates for you soon for buttons. We haven't done that yet, but just click this button and add new button. It'll add a button on your canvas. Keep saying button, button, button. And you just go to edit and you customize the text over here. So, something like get started now, scale this up, scale it up, scale it up, scale it up. And it's responsive, right? So it stretches out how you want. You can even get rounded corners. So you can customize this, create your own style of button basically, which is pretty cool, right? And we'll of course make this on brand. So boom. It's a nice little call to action, really stands out. Yeah, and what else can we do? We need to image, of course. So we'll go back to our model again. So we started with a model, like a persona, and we'll end with a persona, right? That's a great way to kind of end, So start with a bang, end with a positive note, and a bang as well. So we had this guy, when I type rock on, pick something else similar. So you'll find these models, they come in different forms. So boom. There you go. There's my model. There's my guy. He's loving it every single day, nonstop, right? Can't stop him. Can't stop him. All right. So I'm going to go to pen tool and draw again, like this little funky shape, custom shape that outlines his body. Boom, 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 boom. Shake the room. There we go. Hit that, send that to back. Okay, the circle's now in between, so send that to back. And actually, I don't need this circle anymore. I'll just delete that. We'll just keep this guy here with it. The shape is sufficient. And yeah, I think we could use the drop shadow like we did before, just to make him pop a little bit more. And boom, from here, drop it down, increase the blur. There we go, a bit on the horizontal axis. So there we go. I think that's good. And you can always group them together. Some things that I haven't had the time on this demo to show, but guys, you definitely should experiment with. For instance, yeah, there we go. So that's my call to action, right? So yeah, I was saying, something that you guys can definitely experiment with. Things like, let's just push this up to the top. Yeah. Things like reflections, we haven't done enough of that. So, I mean, this is my whole image carousel set. Like I said, you can repurpose this for your landing page in the same order. You just have to, if you're doing it for a landing page, of course, you don't want to download it exactly as, although you could. It's better to think of the context of the landing page. You have a wide page, maybe just download the images alone, hide all the text layers. Just go here, go to layers, hide the text layer, right? And as you hide the layers that you want, just download it as a transparent image. So you go to download and choose transparent PNG, right? And you just download the images. And that way you can, when you're making a website, the idea is you just upload the images and then you create the text in the website components, right? So the text, the button, etc., right? All you need to do is download these images, right? And then so you got your same flow, the same call to action, the same story building from that you have on your carousel to a landing page. So all this stuff can be repurposed, right? You can even do that when we launch video features soon with Glorify, which is really exciting. This can instantly, a carousel can instantly change into an animation just by adding transitions and animation presets, which will animate the whole composition in. So again, something to really look forward to, right? I wanted to show you guys, I mean, there's other things you could do with Glorify, which, we haven't, and this is just quickly just to show you stuff that you can do. You can add a ground shadow, for instance. So instead of a normal shadow, you can see over here, this one has a ground shadow now underneath, right? And that's pretty awesome. So you can kind of, create a blur and, do whatever you like, right? So as you can see, here's my little shadow underneath the phone. Drop shadow we showed you, and reflection's pretty cool because you can create these responsive reflections underneath your object, and you can do it with mockups as well, right? So, and you can blur it out and, reduce so you got this kind of reflection, like this object is kind of standing in position. So loads of stuff there already, but guys, we've got so many exciting features, and I'm going to use the last 10 minutes of this webinar to share with you what's coming up. So first things first, I want to see what's going on on Facebook. So I haven't taken a peek since I started this process. So what are you guys saying? I'd love to see what you guys thoughts are. Daniel Cortez says he uses Glorify for all of your images. Man, I'm really psyched that you do. Thank you so much for using Glorify. There's so much more to come. We're still for me, we've made so much progress, but we're still, for me, very much in the early stages, and I'm just really pumped that you guys are enjoying it, right? Anyone, if you guys have any thoughts, anything to share, I'd love to hear it from you guys right now before I go into the next session. So all right, so without further ado, we'll move on to the next part of the session. So Claire Kirkwood says she's new, she really loves it. Thanks, Claire. Believe me, you need to wait till we release the new editor. It's just going to be much faster and smoother. Of course, things like outside editing is just a must. So do bear with us till we get some of these amazing parts done. It'll take us a week or 2 weeks. With our fundraising, of course, we're going to see so much, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next session. So let's talk about glorifying in the future, right? So product timeline, want to talk about, so I'm going to be implementing the UI UX, the share ecosystem, batch processing. So all of these amazing features, share ecosystem, where you can share your designs with your team members, with public guests that don't have access to Glorify, so they can view or even edit a single design. Batch processing, where you can edit a single design and batch process it to multiple variations. Video and animation features, which is going to be super exciting, right? So you can actually edit video and create video ads and so forth. And feedback and present mode coming in. We have a plugin store. I'm going to show you a little bit about that soon, and a designer community where you can sign up to Glorify and publish your designs for other people to use. So marketing design timeline is not so important to you guys. We are closing our LTD lifetime deal. We closed it as of Friday last week. As I said, we have extended it just for the free users till the end of so the beginning of September. So the 1st of September, free users on a Glorify plan will be able to access the lifetime deal, and that's closes for you guys on Wednesday, the 1st of September, right? So do jump on it if you haven't already, and then we'll be just jumping into our subscription plans till then, all the way till Black Friday. But guys, this is the opportunity. If you are a free user, jump on Glorify while it's available, because you're not going to get a sweeter deal. Why, do we encourage you to buy the lifetime deal, while we're going to be selling subscriptions? Well, subscriptions are mainly for enterprise level businesses. That's how the biggest design tools that exist. You talk about Figma and the Big C or anyone else, right? The way the business model works is that most people like you, the average customer, uses these design tools for free, just like how a lot of our users, when we move on to a free forever plan, are going to be using it for free. But people, it's actually smaller, medium, and enterprise level businesses that actually pay these companies, and likewise will be paying us to use on a subscription. So we want you guys to take advantage of this deal and get this at an insane cost, because I know that you guys are going to become evangelists. You're going to promote it to your colleagues, and eventually it's going to go into the hands of some stakeholders and some decision makers in some bigger businesses, and they'll be buying into our subscription plans. That's the whole goal of Glorify, and we want you to jump in while it's there. We are going to do an AppSumo launch in November. Sorry, it's actually a bit earlier. It's in October. It's not going to be as great of a deal as now. It's definitely not going to be better deal than we have now. And so it's important that you jump on the deal that you have now. The reason we're doing that AppSumo deal is that we're really pumped and excited about it. And, although we did sign this contract before we raised our investment, and that's why it's really important for us to continue to do this deal on the AppSumo platform. regardless of that, we are pumped about it. But, you guys should not procrastinate just because of that, because the current deal that's running, it's just so much more valuable, right? And you get all of the bonuses, which I'm going to show you right now. Product image formula, your priority template suggestions, you get a better pricing, of course, to get all of this stuff, and the early adopter community. So you can, you guys can, as an early adopter, if you buy the lifetime deal now, you get to suggest templates as a priority, and we'll work on them, just like we have done for mockups and infographics. These were templates and requirements suggested by our early adopters, and that's why we got to them, right? And hence we're pumping these templates according to those priorities. So you guys, if you do join, this is the kind of privileges you'll have. So yeah, like I said, free, specifically again for free users. I know a lot of you guys have already jumped on, but free users, we are extending the deal just for you guys till the September the 1st. Jump into Glorify. It's very simple. Just go to our lifetime Glorify pricing lifetime deal. So /pricing lifetime. You can see 4 days left. Hit grab, and it gets you through the process. Check out all of your FAQs at the bottom if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions now, but if it's related to the deal, you've got pretty much every answer to any question. Most people, pretty much any question you would think of when it comes to the deal itself. So go to the landing page, pricing lifetime. You would have got an email in your inbox talking about it, so you can grab it from there. And once you hit the button, it obviously takes you to the sign up plan. You can choose your plan. You can pay by PayPal or pay by card. That is pretty much it, guys, for us today. I think. Do you guys have any questions? I've just hit it on the dot, just about 1 hour. That's what I was hoping for. So let us know, guys. What are your thoughts about Glorify? What are you excited about? I haven't actually gone through my roadmap properly enough. Things to look forward to, guys. While throw in your questions, and I'll just show you some exciting stuff that is coming. For example, the new dashboard is going to look epic. This is the new dashboard. You have your similar to what it is now, but now you have plugins and templates. And what's cool with the new dashboard is you can invite team members, and you can give your entire team access, or you can invite specific team members to specific workspace, and you can invite guests to your workspace. Guests, of course, have only access to single projects that you invite them to. Guests don't have access to your entire project's ecosystem, your uploads, your favorites, your brand kit, and your templates. They don't have access to all those things, but they get access to your single projects, which is pretty cool. We're creating it, making it much easier for you to access templates. Right now, it's a bit annoying with Glorify, but once we roll out these updates, all your recent searches, all the searches that are perfect match to you are going to be found here. Really pumped about that. Brand kit is going to go over the roof, like when you get the new brand kit, because you can upload as many logos as you like. You can add as many color palettes as you like to your brand kit. You can add as many text styles and fonts as you like. And what's really cool about this brand kit overall is that it's connected to your project. So let's say you add your brand kit elements like your fonts, logos, and colors to a specific project, and you in fact use that for multiple projects. Guess what? If you make any change in your brand kit, it's going to globally change across all your projects if you wanted to. And on top of that, we also do have brand assets, which is pretty cool as well, because you can basically save team templates, right? So that it can be reused. Smart groups, where you have a group of objects that you can save as a group for reuse later, repurpose later. Images that you can upload to your brand kit library, so that you can, it might be your product or an image related to your brand campaign, such as a person. You can use that across your campaign. Again, if you go change these images and replace them, it'll change across your entire campaign if you wanted to. So much control over here, and great for collaboration. This is the best part for me. For a lot of people have been demanding this, is uber control with your files. You have workspace files. Workspace files are files that have your entire team have access to. Private files are just files that only you have access to, and people that you specifically invite them to your project to. So they're only private according to your permissions that you set. And shared files are other private files, but other admins in your account that share files to you, you'll find in your shared files, right? Only admins have access to private files, and owners of the account, of course, have access to private files. If they're just set as an editor, they don't have private files. So you get full transparency. Let's say you're the owner of the account and you hire designers, then they don't have access to private files to kind of, basically exploit your account, right? If you give them account, just in case, of course, I'm sure you trust your designers, but you have that level of transparency. So loads of cool things there. What else can I show you guys? Plugins. Okay, this is where it goes insane. We're gonna start. We got since our $2 million raise, we are on a mission to pump Glorify with as many plugins as possible. And we're working out deals with great companies to bring in these plugins, anywhere from stock assets to design tools. Design tools could be, like gradient makers or tools that edit images and add filters to your images. Analytic tools, maybe you want to publish your designs into your ad platforms. You want to get the data back to see how it performed, iterate based on that data. Productivity tools, you might want to publish designs to Slack. Your project management tools like monday.com or ClickUp, etc. So this is our plugin ecosystem, and our mission is to pump in the next 100 plugins in the next year and keep going from there. Really excited about that. So you just come into the plugin store, you can see all the details about the plugin, who it's by, what is it for, and then you can simply install the plugin, right? Really cool there. And other things I would love to show you is, for example, workspace settings is pretty cool. You can basically control the entire workspace here. So, control what team member has access to workspace, specific workspace, what plugins are installed in the workspace, what plugins have been requested by a team member. If you're an owner account, you can decide to install it or decline it. So much stuff here. You can personalize your workspace according to the platform that matter the most and your niche. And it's just going to be a whole new dream, right? And I'm really, really excited about this. I hope you guys are too. Guys, what do you think about the new Glorify that's upcoming? There are also some epic stuff that we're bringing on the editor. We're just going to make the editor more robust, more user-friendly, just the fonts have had a bit of a refresh. Everything looks thicker, bolder, easier to navigate. So really pumped about that. You can choose folders where to add your designs to on the save itself, and a whole list of things, right? So I do want to show you one last thing that I'm pretty excited about. Actually, what I would recommend is go to pricing/roadmap as well. So pricing lifetime, I think is called roadmap. So this shows you, I created a video on Loom, which shows you exactly what the roadmap looks like and actually demo you some of our cool features that we're launching very soon, right? So do check this video out, go to this URL as well. It kind of shows you like our batch processing feature, the one I was talking about earlier, where you can, scale your designs into multiple variations with just a click. So all those things have been described right here. So you can see I'm explaining it in this video right here, right? So you can see basically, so yeah, if you go to this URL, I kind of talk about how this feature is going to work. And how you can basically scale all of your designs. Basically, you create one design, literally with a drop of a click, you can scale it to multiple variations from content to size, and the list goes on. Right, guys. Thanks for being on this webinar. Really glad to have you guys here. With that, guys, if you have any other questions, drop it in the comment section. We will get to them. It's been awesome having you guys here and learning about what we have in store for Glorify. Hope you guys are pumped. Drop in the comment section if you guys are pumped. I'd love to know what's your feedback. What are you excited about most? I will end by adding a little flare on this mobile phone, because flares are just really cool to add on any product, right? So I'm just going to add this little flare here just to make this design pop just that little bit more. And there you go. With that, guys, I shall conclude. Give me a shout. Let us hear what you guys are excited about most. What features you're excited about most? Why did you jump into Glorify in the first place? What do you how do you intend to use Glorify? We'd love to know as much as possible about you guys so that we can prioritize how we build Glorify, right? And we'd love to hear from you guys. So just simply drop it in the comments below. You can always go to our roadmap page. On our homepage, there's a link to our roadmap that will take you to our roadmap where you can actually drop suggestions, any suggestion that you like, and we will get to it and we'll prioritize accordingly. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch you on the other side. And yeah, see you in the community, just creating glorious designs. Take care. Bye.